Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, August 12th. That'd be day 36 in the Big Brother house. So we are over a third of the way there. Not quite halfway there, but over a third of the way there. And there's not a ton of news today, really. It's Tuesday. We've got Wednesday all day to sort things out, and things are not quite sorted as far as who's going to go. So, the Power Veto yesterday meeting did not go as a lot of us thought it would. It went as some people thought it would, because some people didn't think Zach would use it. I thought Zach would use his special power. We didn't think Catherine was going to end up using her power by the time it came around to it, but we thought Zach would still use his power. But he didn't. And so when the feeds finally came back after like over 2 hours, which is another reason we thought maybe it happened, everything seemed just kind of normal. It's like, oh, okay, nobody's really super, reacting, upset, whatever you want to say. And we realized that Zach hadn't used it. And it eventually came out. We're cutting through a lot of stuff here. in a early evening, mid-evening, depending on where you're at, talk that Keanu had with Morgan. He explained about, he told her he had a power. He told her about the $10,000, the power he had. He had to explain it a couple of times because she didn't seem to quite understand it, but that's fine. At least we got to see that he did it. Thank you, Big Brother, for letting us see that. Because that was kind of important. It is, in the realm of things, it's kind of important. That's the first time that we know of where Zach had talked about this power that he's had since the first night. So he basically told her, look, I have this power, but I knew if I used it, you'd get put up on the block. So that's explaining why he didn't do it. Now, there's also the other thing of where he's denied, it would basically reveal that he's been lying about not having a power for the entire season so far. So he would have broken a lot of trust in theory, but he just broke some trust telling Morgan. But as I said last night when this happened, Morgan's been pretty good at keeping secrets, right? She didn't tell anyone about Mickey's power. So can she keep her mouth quiet about Zach's power? And will Zach still potentially use his power? Maybe next week, if he stays. That's the key, if he stays. I would think, Morgan's really torn. She's torn between Vinny and Zach as far as, if the two of them are up against each other on Thursday night, she's going to be very distraught, very torn. I would say that she's least loyal to Keanu of the three, but Keanu has grown on a lot of people. He's mellowed, so people are liking Keanu too. But that was the big news last night, was that Zach did not use his power, and that then he told Morgan about his power. There's other shifting. There's all kinds of alliance talks going on. I'm just amazed at the amount of alliance talk going on. There's even new alliances trying to be formed. I don't know how you can pull this off, but they're trying. They are definitely trying. But nothing, I think, really developed yesterday as far as that goes. I'm not sure anything can develop right now. It's a bit of a Wild West, right? I'm looking at my cast list to think about where everybody stands. That's kind of a day it is. It's kind of a where does everybody stand day, and we've still got 3 days left. I don't know. Now there's probably other hardcore live feed watchers that have been way down in the trenches the last couple of days, because I have not. I have been watching a bit from afar because I got a bit burned out with the whole way they treated us with the penalty thing on Saturday, or Saturday. Not letting us see Rachel and Zach do their... Rachel calls it a 12-hour punishment. I heard 8 hours to start with, so I'm not sure what the exact time length was. I think they're saying 12 is kind of a broad term. I thought it was officially 8 hours, but it's not that critical. Either way, they spent a lot of time together. And Rachel kind of milked that a little bit yesterday. She kind of pointed it out that they spent time together and, maybe working together. And Zach also brought up Lauren, maybe working with Lauren. So Rachel's got her lines out there. She's got a few people on the hook a little bit. I still think there's a lot of attitude of, well, we'll keep stringing Rachel along, but sooner or later somebody's going to cut her. The question is, will somebody actually cut her, or will she make it far enough in that people will want to keep her to the end and think, well, nobody's going to vote for her because we all agreed that we wouldn't vote for her, right? It's kind of one of those, well, we all said we aren't going to, so if I take her to the end, then I will win against her. And then the question becomes, well, do you get the bitter jury syndrome where people are like, well, you aren't going to win because I didn't get it, so I'm going to give it to Rachel? Or do they just say, well, Rachel managed to get to the end when we all said we wouldn't take her, so she deserves to win? There's a couple of different arguments right there that could be worked out. And Rachel, this is the video that I watched part of, but I couldn't watch all of it from, I think it was Sunday, where Rachel was really being aggressive towards Morgan, because Rachel, and this is what Rachel was saying, and she's not wrong, these house guests have all been talking about jury, and they're calling it like a checkpoint. Like, well, the first thing you do is you make it to jury, and then you go on to the next, and it's kind of like, and these are the people I want to make it to jury, and Rachel was very, very annoyed, and she's like, I'm not going to be in jury. This is what she was telling. And this was on Sunday, so I'm going back a day, but I hadn't seen the clip. But it's a pretty intense clip, and I'm wondering if it'll make the show. I don't know if it will, but it was a pretty intense clip where Rachel's like, I'm not going to make jury. I'm going to either be in the final 2 seats, or I'm going to be not going to jury. This is what she says, right? I mean, it was, but it was very aggressive, and Morgan was definitely backpedaling and trying to be, well, wait, kind of that kind of a thing. It was what it was. It was interesting. It was intense, but it was very aggressive from Rachel, and she's done it before. Obviously, that's her. She's done this mode before, right? She went after Keanu. She went after Zay. Obviously, Keanu's still in the house, so it's not like it's a death sentence when Rachel decides to kind of get aggressive and go at you. And I don't think this was in the same vein as it was with Zay when she did it with him. But it was definitely a moment where it was like, whoa. But it's also Rachel knowing that she's putting on a TV show, right? She knows this could be a TV moment. And so when she does these things, she does one-liners, She said, you want to go to war and that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, she's doing sound bites. She knows what she's doing. But it was interesting. And watching Morgan was definitely on the defensive, kind of going, well, wait, no, that's not what I meant, or that's not what we meant, or that's, it was Rachel calling Morgan newbies, calling Morgan and everybody else like, you're all newbies kind of a thing. That was a bit arrogant. And again, I think it's for game purposes, but it does annoy me in another way, because I didn't want Rachel in the house with a bunch of newbies. I don't like that dynamic. And so Rachel flaunting that dynamic as a weapon kind of annoys me, right? All right, so that was just a thought on Rachel and Morgan from, like I said, from Sunday. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at the list and like, do I want to talk about all the house guests, or do I just want to enjoy today? Today will be a relaxing day. There's where I'm just not sure where the house lies right now as far as the votes go. I am not sure, and of course we have one of these 3 is going to get evicted on Thursday, either Keanu, Zach, or Vinny. There's a tiny part of me that hopes it's Zach, so I don't call him Patrick anymore. But I like Zach, and other people don't like Zach, right? I don't have a problem with any of these house guests. Well, there's one house guest that I don't need to see anymore, and I think we all know who that is, so I will even spare you mentioning his name. But there was a point last night where Lauren and Vinny were having a discussion in one of the rooms, and they're all whispering. Oh my God, this entire house whispers all the time. It was there's a couple of promos for Big Brother this season that showed whispering house guests, and we're like, okay, they're really digging in the whispering angle. Well, this house is definitely doing it. I almost did a video clip where there was 3 conversations going on at one point, and the cameras were jumping around between them, and everybody was whispering. You had Lauren and Catherine whispering. You had Mickey and, I think it was Mickey, and Will whispering. And then you had Lauren and Vinny whispering. I mean, just and they're all whispering. I'm not going to try to do the whispering. They were whispering to where it's hard to hear. They need to make the damn place a little bit more soundproof, or at least the house guests need to be a little bit more confident that they can talk at least low voices without whispering. But they all do it. And so what I was getting at was Lauren and Vinny are whispering, and in the background you can just hear somebody yelling at the top of their lungs, running around like a middle schooler, and just being loud. I mean, yeah. So yeah, that person could just go. They won't go. That's the problem. They aren't going to go anywhere. So, is what it is. We're just going to have to deal with it. But I don't know where anybody stands in the House as far as I have not tried to tally any kind of votes, right? I've listened to them talk, to the House guests talk, but I'm not 100% sure that I could say. I am 100% sure that I can't say who's going. If it's Vinny versus Zach, if it's Zach versus Keanu, if it's Keanu versus Vinny, I'm not sure right now. Now, some people, odds are that if you're listening to this, you're more in the dark than me. I don't know how many people that watch the feeds as much as I do listen to me talk about me watching the feeds, because there is the attitude and opinion of, and I am one of those that have that opinion, that I watch the feeds, I know what's going on, I don't need to listen to somebody else tell me what's going on, right? So there may be some of you out there that are screaming at your device right now that I don't know what I'm talking about, and you could be right. It may be crystal clear who is going home between Vinny and Zach, but I don't think it's in stone yet. I just don't think that any of these are locked up yet as far as who might be going between those 3 people after the blockbuster. Wow, I actually said it right this time. After the blockbuster comp on Thursday. I think they'll know by Thursday. I think they'll probably know, but I'm still not 100% sure. I just don't have a good sense right yet, because there are a lot of alliances. You know, Zach is trying to be loyal to Lauren, but Lauren has said several times to Vinny that you're my number one. So if it's between Zach and Vinny, who is Lauren voting to keep? I want to say that Keanu is the most likely to go if he's still on the block, but I'm not 100% sure. He's kind of mellowed. He's kind of, and there are people that may want to keep him around. I know for a fact that Rachel wants Vinny out hard. So Rachel is going to be pushing very hard for Vinny to go if he is still available on Thursday to be voted out. So that's a problem for Vinny, is that Rachel will be pushing hard for him to go. And I'm not sure how many people are going to want to go against Rachel or see that as, well, if Rachel wants him to go on so bad, maybe we should be keeping him, right? I'm just not sure. Well, I'll have a better idea for Thursday morning. Maybe today it'll start to flesh itself out a little bit more for me. And tomorrow, we got 2 whole days for this all to work its way out. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see what happens. We've got nothing going on game-wise. There's no... It is... If Zach had used his power, I think it would be a lot different right now. And since he hasn't, we've had the first time the power veto hasn't been used this season. And so we've got the first Tuesday where something didn't dramatically change yesterday. And so, yeah, we'll see how the House reacts to that and what they do. I would anticipate that we're not going to see a whole lot going on other than the House gets kind of just existing the next 2 days. They probably are done with... So remember, Keanu's got his tasks that he has to do where he's making pigs in the blanket. And Vinny has to keep walking around in this egg suit. And I mean, that's... They've got their footage for that. I'm thinking, my thought is, by the way, that Wednesday's episode, and I'll be wrong, but we're going to talk about it anyways. I think Wednesday's episode is going to end in a cliffhanger where the casual TV-only viewer won't know if Zach is going to use his power or not. And, of course, he doesn't, right? But I think they may leave everybody wondering if he's going to use it or not. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just show Zach not using it and saying why he's not going to use it. But that would be where they might leave it. If they don't leave it there, it's because they need more material. But I think between Rachel and Zach's punishment that we never got to see, Vinny's egg, Keanu's butler task, and I almost said his name, Catherine's relationship, I think they've got enough stuff to throw at us on Wednesday's 90-minute show. That's just my feeling. We'll see what happens, but that's on Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. So again, we got 2 whole days for them to kind of muddle around and figure it out. Tomorrow I may tell you, you know what, it's really starting to look like this, but for now I'm just not sure. So with that, I am going to wish you a happy Tuesday. And yeah, if you guys have any, by the way, we'll just throw this out there. If you have any random questions, every once in a while this does happen. People do ask. No one has as of late, but you're always welcome to. You can always email me, ilovereality@gmail.com. You can at me on Blue Sky. You can chat me at Blue Sky. Direct message me. My direct messages are open. It's BB Gossip on Blue Sky. You can also DM me on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, I am occasionally, at least once a day, I try to pull up Twitter. I have responded to a couple of people, but I'm not, as I said, I'm not actively posting. I'm just posting links to this podcast. But occasionally, I feel, it's like somebody asks a question. I will answer an occasional question. I'm just not going to make it a place. I would rather everybody just go over to Blue Sky and just leave Twitter alone. But some of you aren't, and so I'm kind of like, they're like, all right, I'll answer a question because I'm trying to be nice, but I'm annoyed that you're still on Twitter. Just know that. I am annoyed that you're still on Twitter, but I will probably answer your question unless it starts to become a regular thing. But like once a week, I might answer someone's question. And sometimes there are questions about how they get to Blue Sky. So that's the reason I'm checking it out, because I'm trying to help people. What else? There's something else. Oh, I can't remember what it was. There was something else. I think it's just a general thank you to everybody that's been very nice on Blue Sky. And friendly and positive vibes and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you guys. And I think that's it for now. We're going to wrap her up. And I will talk to you guys on Wednesday. We'll see if things are a little bit more solidified as far as who might be going or what the different scenarios are. All right? Be well, everybody. Thank you for your support, and I will talk to you on Wednesday. See ya.